I get questions from my litigation partners. I get questions from my transactional lawyers, my bankruptcy partners. I see the whole gamut of work that our firm does because everything touches tax, and so tax gets to be part of all those different things.
But beyond the intellectual challenge of figuring out the rules and figuring out this very intricate system, the system doesn't exist in a vacuum, and it's a result of social policy and economic policy, and so it affects everything that people do, and to me it's the ultimate expression of social policy. It's where the rubber hits the road. Who's going to pay for the costs of government and civilized society, and how are we going to get the money from them? And those are fundamental questions.
The thing I enjoy about tax law is that it's a constantly evolving and changing area of the law. Congress is always tinkering with the tax code, sometimes in minor ways, sometimes major ways. And so as a practitioner, you always have to stay on top of the changing law and be aware of what Congress is doing and what the IRS is doing to regulate, as opposed to some other areas of law that are just stagnant and you learn one case and you could use that for the rest of your life. So I think everyone who practices tax law kind of appreciates that it's just a constantly changing and evolving area.
I really enjoy the practice of tax law. Tax law allows me to engage in discussions with many people about many different topics. It allows me to understand businesses in various categories, from very large Fortune 500 companies to mid-sized companies to even in some cases smaller companies. It allows me also to understand how taxes impact everyone's life. I've worked in the areas of individual tax, I've worked in the areas of corporate tax, federal tax, as well as international tax. So it allows me to really have a diversified practice and a diversified understanding of issues that affect everyone every day.
I think there were times in my career I really thought I would want to just be a corporate lawyer, and the one thing that really kept me in tax was the people, because they're some of the smarter, nicer, just easier to work with and be with kind of people, a little less cutthroat in some ways, more collegial.
I didn't plan to go into tax law originally, and after taking just my first tax course I really enjoyed it. But the nice thing about tax law is that it encompasses so much, so you'll never not be busy and you'll always have a job. So it's a good aspect and something good to go into.
I remember joining the ABA as a law student. I think it might have been free. I don't remember if it still is. And I thought it was wonderful. You could get the publications. You were a member as a law student. And if you have the opportunity to come to a meeting as a law student, if it's local to you or you can afford to come, I think it's great because you can meet with everyone being as open and friendly and inclusive. Especially they like to reach out to law students and younger members of the bar. Most people that are involved in the section are very enthusiastic about the practice of tax law, and they'll share with you why they think it's great and their enthusiasm for tax law. And so if someone's thinking about going into a career in tax law, I'd say the opportunity again to meet people that have practiced in the area for some period of time is a wonderful opportunity.
When I first started attending tax section meetings as a young lawyer, I really enjoyed seeing different issues. You would meet other young lawyers, which was nice, but a lot of times I would be working on particular projects. I might not have any background in a particular area. At the time I was working in international tax. Might not have any exposure to a particular issue or area. I could pick up a little snippet just to get me started on a research project, or to just give me a little familiarity and get you over that sort of fear hurdle of approaching a new issue.
The section has been very important to me in my practice and in my career throughout, because I was with a small firm first out of law school, and then I moved into government, and now I've moved out of government to a large accounting firm, KPMG. And one of the sources of continuity through all of those changes has been the section, and friendships and relationships that I have established have not only been important to me, but have helped me throughout. No matter where I was at work, there are certainly people I can pick up the phone and call, people I've met through the section, to talk about tax, to talk about business side work, and even just to talk about, friendships and talk about family and things like that.